Hi everyone, are you there? Speak to me. You there, You there, Michael? Hi. Where have you gone, Michael? Are you still there? Yeah, we've got 4 likes already. That's not bad when there's 2 people on. Doing well. Oh no, Mike. Hey, memories, Michael? Memories. I only bought this a couple of weeks ago. I don't have many retro shirts. They're only the ones I bought when I was, from the 80s and stuff. So, and I've lost so many kits. It's unbelievable. Do you like the kit, Emily? Emily's dad's a big United fan, Michael. So we'll not talk about that. He's a season card holder at Old Trafford. Has been for many years. So I don't think he'll be coming on. Blackpool, how are you doing, mate? How are you doing? Whose sound's not working, Em? Yours or mine? Oh, it's back now. You've been messing about with it, haven't you? Right, Blackpool and Michael, what are we talking about tonight? Is it? I was just going to talk about Chelsea and Villa, but I think it's been a bit superseded, hasn't it? Unfortunately. Morning, Chris. How are you, mate? How are you thinking? How's Carlisle doing? I know you've knocked Liverpool on the head, mate. Oh no, I must admit, I bought my Wembley tickets yesterday before all this kicked off. If I'd known, I wouldn't have bought them. I've asked City if I can have a refund, but they've not answered me yet. Because I'm a little bit despondent, to say the least. No, Chris, it's not a good day, mate. It's absolutely shocking. I've been checking things today to see if it's all real or if it's just a dream, and I just can't believe what we've done. I've been watching all the fan channels and all the reactions. I've yet to see anyone who's got anything positive to say. Well, Chris, I mean, it's just one of those things, mate. It's the 6 clubs, isn't it? I mean, it's where do we go from here? That's the problem. And I think UEFA and FIFA have put their foot down. What's the Premier League? Premier League's not really come out with anything yet, has it? Be interesting to see what they say. I think what you need to do, Chris, is just have a think about it for a bit. Just don't jump to any sort of, don't jump yet. Just have a ponder over it. That's all we can do. But I don't think you can do too much at the moment. Hi, old Derek. You all right, mate? Yeah, cheers, Derek. Later on, Em. I'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget the film and TV one tomorrow, Em. If you want to come on to that, you can tell me your best films. Cheers, Blackpool. Yeah, say we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. As I say, I was going to talk about Chelsea and obviously Villa coming up, but it's been superseded a little bit. I mean, what are your opinions, guys? I mean, I've been watching a lot of the fan channels. I've not heard many other opinions really. Yeah, Chris. I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously, is it Leeds tonight, isn't it, for Liverpool? So it's hard, isn't it? It is a bit of a quandary. I mean, I don't know how I'm going to feel Wednesday night when we play Villa, to be honest with you. I have no idea how I'm going to approach that one. I think I've done the preview today, so that's going out tomorrow. But I did it with quite a heavy heart, I must admit. I wasn't excited by doing it. It will be punishment for him, Chris. Yeah, definitely. At least you've got Carlisle, haven't you? That's at least you've got Carlisle to follow. I've got nothing. I mean, there's absolutely no other team I would support in this world apart from City. There's no one else I'm interested in. So obviously, if they ended up just playing this Super League, I wouldn't be watching that. I don't think I'll ever watch that. Whatever happens with that. But I don't have anyone. I mean, I've seen a lot of fans saying they'll go and watch Stockport, they'll go and watch Altrincham, depending where they live. They go and watch Chester. A guy who lives in Chester will go and watch Chester City. I don't have any allegiance with anybody else. I have no interest in football beyond City. Even England don't impress me. I don't like watching it. I'm not bothered about England. So, yeah, I mean, well, you know, obviously, according to the to this sucker league, I'm going to call it, because they're sucking the life out of football, and we're suckers for following it. Money's gonna trickle down, isn't it? But have you ever heard so much rubbish in all your life? Well, what can he do? What can Pep do? Blackpool? Can he do what Jose did and get kicked out? I mean, I've not had that confirmed that he refused to do it because of this. I mean, if it has, he's gone up in my estimations because I can't stand the bugger. But if Mourinho's refused to do this because of what's happened, all credit to him, because I don't like the guy. But what can Pep do? I mean, I don't understand. You know, any of the 6 managers, obviously one's gone. The other 5, what have they said? With nothing. And what are they allowed to say? Can they say anything? I mean, from a point of view of the clubs, are they allowed to say anything? I mean, Pep would have said no, wouldn't he? Surely. I think it was an interview I looked back on about, he's talking about football and money and stuff, and he wouldn't agree with this, even from a Barcelona point of view either. Well, it is what it is, Chris, as someone else always says, and I've said it. It is what it is, and this is the position we're in now. But what are the players going to think? I mean, I think Bruno's come out, hasn't he? Hasn't Bruno come out and said he's against it, which is the first player I've seen come out and say anything? I'd imagine the players have been told not to say anything at all. But they're not going to be able to play for the countries. What is the point for players? I mean, all right, so some players play for the money. Some players play for the money and they'll carry on. But about these players got a bit of pride in playing for the shirt, got a bit of pride of playing for the country, and they're never going to be allowed to play for the country again. It's unbelievable what this has done. Not just us, the fans, but I mean, you know, you're going to see the players affected by it as well. Yeah, absolutely, Chris. I mean, this takes me back. You're too young, Chris, to remember, but this takes me back to cricket, and Kerry Packer did it a long, long time ago, and it just ended in a total disaster because players were just offered loads of money to play, and it just put cricket in jeopardy. I don't know. I'm not quite sure it ever recovered, to be honest with you, but it just did exactly the same with cricket at the time. It's obviously a totally different thing, but it's just wrong. I mean, the Champions League, let's face it, since when have we ever stuck up for UEFA? It's the best of 2 bad things, isn't it? And just I'm still hoping that this is a drastic ploy to get UEFA to cough up more money. That's all I'm hoping. Blackpool, were they sacked at a later date? Would they then be able to manage elsewhere, same as the players? That's it, Blackpool. We just don't know. I mean, if Pep was on the verge of leaving at some stage before he signed his new contract, will this finish him off? Will this be the sort of last nail that he'll just quit these managers? Yeah, you can't have it, Chris. I mean, what is the point of no promotion or relegation? What is the point? You say it's just like the NFL. It's just rubbish playing the same teams week in, week out. You're playing 9 other teams twice every Wednesday. I mean, how boring, to be honest with you. What's interesting about that? It's absolute rubbish. Well, let's face it. I mean, they obviously haven't realised. I mean, surely they realise surely the clubs realise the backlash to this. Yeah, I mean, look at Everton. Someone mentioned Everton today. How can Everton feel now? They've got a new ground. I mean, what hope is there? I mean, you know, if I was the Premier League, I'd kick all 6 out, to be honest with you. I mean, Gary Neville's on about deducting points and putting them back into the 3rd division and stuff like this. I'd do the same if I was the Premier League. But, you know, the Premier League is then going to suffer, but it's going to suffer anyway, isn't it? So it's a no-win situation for them. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised at our owners. For the first time ever, I've always backed our owners. I've always thought they do the right things for the area, they do the right things for City, they've invested. And now it looks as though they just want a payback on that investment, and it's all about the money again now. And I never quite believed that of our owners. I just thought, I'm naive. Perhaps I'm naive. Am I naive? I don't know. I just thought we were a little bit better, but how this has backfired, really. All right, T-Mac, you all right, mate? UEFA to blame as well, protecting the cartel clubs, blown up in their face, proposed new champions. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'd say I'm no fan of UEFA, but, it's as though they're the good guys, and they're not the good guys. We've just got two lots of bad guys at the moment, and we're stuck in the middle. I mean, we've got nowhere to go. Obviously, as fans, we've got nowhere to go. I like the foot is now okay. It's VAR. Yeah, I mean, they sort of punched us with VAR, put us on the floor, and as we're trying to get up again, now they've done this, so it's like the knockout blow. Yeah, I mean, UEFA and FIFA have both said it, haven't they? The players can't play in the Euro 2020. The players can't play in the next World Cup. So, and I know the Soccer League have said they're willing to negotiate with UEFA and FIFA, but I mean, they're not exactly starting from a point where obviously they're going to be listened to kindly, are they? Let's be honest about it. Yeah, Gary Neville was okay. The only bit I didn't like about Gary Neville is he implied that Arsenal, United, and Liverpool were obviously we're the new money, so it's not as important to us, as though it's not as important to City and City fans and Liverpool Spurs fans and Chelsea fans, because we're all new money. I mean, I didn't agree with that side of it. He's denying our history, which, you know me, I'll bang on about our history till I'm blue in the face, pardon the pun. But yeah, I didn't like that of Gary Neville, but he's a dyed-in-the-wool rag, so he'll say things like that, won't he? No, Blackpool. I thought we'd be talking about the Chelsea debacle, which we can if you want to mention the Chelsea debacle, and I thought we'd be looking forward to the Villa game, but obviously this has superseded it. Yes, as I say, I got my Wembley tickets, and I'm so sorry I did now, because I'm totally confused what to do now. I have no idea whether to go down to Wembley. I've got to do these. I took a test today. I've got to do another one, I think, and something else. So I don't know. I didn't want to do it, but I thought I better had. But I just don't know what to do. I mean, what are you doing? I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, I'm going to watch the Villa game. Of course, I'm going to watch Villa and City on Wednesday night. I don't think Chris is watching Leeds and Liverpool. Are you watching Leeds and Liverpool tonight, Chris? Are you actually bothering at this point in time? Yes, of course, I'm watching Villa and City, but if I was a Premier League, I'd just throw us out now. If I was the League Cup, I know the Carabao have got probably money to get out of this, but I'd throw City and Tottenham out of it. I'd just ban it now. I'd just get rid of it and find out the nearest two teams and play it in a couple of weeks' time with the nearest two teams that did okay in the League Cup that aren't part of the cartel. Put them in the League Cup final. That's what I'd do. I mean, that's what I'd do. I think I'd do that. Blackpool, what a good day to start. Yeah, Michael Finn, listening to Ian Cheeseman, Forever Blue, a good poster, Tommy. But yeah, I was listening to that before I came on here, Michael, Tommy Booth, and the other two guys. I'm not too sure who they were. Gary wouldn't remember City kicking United's bum on a regular basis before Fergie. Yeah, I mean, I grew up with us kicking United's bum, but from the late 60s to the 70s, I hardly ever remember United beating us. So I was a bit spoilt, wasn't I? I mean, I was spoilt at my time. I mean, they made me suffer since, obviously, but yeah, at school, I mean, I went to school in Withington, which is near Main Road, but there's hardly any United fans. They were all City fans, and we just enjoyed it. Yeah, I think, Blackpool, I think there's a few people asking for the money back. I mean, they'd sold out the trains had sold out, and the cars had gone, but obviously they still had tickets left for the coaches. So obviously I bought a coach ticket and a ticket for the match. But there's plenty there when I looked yesterday, but that was but now there's loads of people asking for a refund. So there's not going to be anyone wanting to, there's going to be loads of people who would have gone who don't want to go now. And then obviously they're going to run out of selling criteria, aren't they? They haven't got much time to sort this out, have they, really? I will do. I probably will do, Derek. But as I say, at this point in time, I'm with a heavy heart. I just don't know. I'm playing it by ear, as they say. And I've got big ears, so I'm playing it by ear. Claremont Road, yeah, I've been down Claremont Roads a few times, T-Mick. I've been down there. Cheers, Michael. I mean, it's nice. I don't want. Sometimes I might act as devil's advocate. I won't always say what I think. I just might start. I mean, is there any up to this? Is there any up to this European Soccer League? Is there any sort of up to this? Can anyone think of a positive that this, apart from money? Yeah, I mean that's obvious. Apart from the money, is there anything positive for Manchester City or Liverpool in Chris's case? I mean, Chris has got Carlisle as well, so that's not too bad. But what can we take? Is there anything good we can take from this? Is there anything? I don't see anything, and every single person I've seen on Twitter and Facebook is totally against it. I think there's one or two. I mean, what is the benefit to fans abroad as well? Obviously, it's aimed at that. They want the people in India and America and China. They want to have games where, and they don't care about us because it's all about getting the watchers on TV. But what benefit is to them? Surely they don't want to watch rubbish the same teams all the time either. They still want the Premier League is the most exciting league in the world, and it still is. So what benefit is it going to have if the Premier League sort of kicks City out, or we douse down our team every Saturday? We don't play a full team in the Premier League. We play it in the other league. Well, this is it. I mean, team. Yeah, absolutely. I've never thought about the Scottish teams. I mean, absolutely, T-Mac. I mean, it's just why not? Because as you say, they've got world support as well, not just local support. Perhaps they don't pay the money. Perhaps they're not big on the money side, contributing to the coffers. Perhaps they're all dodgy streams up in Glasgow and abroad, so they're a bit more canny. They won't pay for they won't pay for Sky and all this lot. So perhaps that's why the Glasgow teams haven't been included. I mean, that's just me, but perhaps they're a bit cleverer than we are, and a bit more canny with the money. So I mean, that's a reason. I don't know if it's a good reason or not, but. Yeah, I mean, all we've got, let's face it, it's just Spain, Italy, and England, isn't it? I mean, what's super about that? What's super about that? All right, there might be some German clubs coming into it, but I want to play the best against the Russians and the Polish and the Dutch. I mean, what's the Dutch? Belgium. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. Being in the Claremont, yeah. Well, I went in there once, and I think I sort of ran out very quickly, even with City fans in there. Celtic Rangers, yeah. Loved Main Road. Went over to my game against Leeds United my first time. Well, that would have been a good game in the 90s. There's always good games against Leeds United in the 90s. Watch Man City vs Liverpool live from Detroit at 2 a.m. live only on Amazon TV. Absolutely, Blackpool. That's what it's going to be, and that's all that matters to them, isn't it? I mean, I thought for us anyway. I thought for City the fans did matter a bit, but I think this has proven that they don't, do they? Spartak Moscow, Red Star Belgrade team, yeah. So I mean, just think of all the teams that this isn't included. I want to play teams like Ajax. I want to play all these other teams. These, even Shakhtar Donetsk. I'll risk playing them. I'm not bothered. I don't want to play Granada because then you're in the Europa League, aren't you? But or the BBC. But yeah. I don't really want to play the same 19. All right, there's 5 teams can come into it, isn't there? But I mean, how's that going to be decided? Where are they coming from, and how are they going to? They won't have the money to compete. And the thing about the Premier League as well, if City get all these 6 English teams get all the money, how are the Premier League going to compete? Because the teams won't be able to match our spending power, will they? It's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, so. The Premier League should chuck us all out. I mean, that's simple as that. They should chuck all 6 teams out, and we should start perhaps another FC City or something like that. That's what we have to. That's what we have to do. That's what we might have to do. But even then, I probably won't support it. I mean, if you started an FC United, I couldn't be bothered. I'll be honest with you to say it wouldn't appeal to me one iota. As I say, City's my team. I wouldn't really want to support anybody else or go with anyone else. And I don't know. I'd just watch more films and TV, wouldn't I? I wouldn't. That's what I'd have to fall back on. But how awful's that? And perhaps kids, about Sunday teams. I might go and watch just a few Sunday games and stuff like. I used to like watching. Obviously, I used to play on a Sunday and Saturday, but I might go and watch a bit of that, on the park with the kids, junior football, stuff like that. I think I'd probably end up watching that if there's no City to watch. Ajax, went a whole domestic season undefeated and won the Champions League. Absolutely. So, well, this is it. What are their thoughts on it? Their thoughts must be, they must be devastated by this. But hey, so what? Kick out the 12, kick out the 15, and do your own thing, and just start creating your own history. The Ajax will become big again, and nothing wrong with a Leeds Ajax game. I mean, that sounds pretty good to me. Or, Everton against Steaua Bucharest. I mean, I'll go with that, because that's what the Champions League is going to be like, isn't it? I mean, because it's not the champion. It'll still be the Champions League, won't it? Let's face it, it's a lot of rubbish at the moment. It's not champions, but I just don't know. Yeah, team. Yeah, I think a breakaway club. I think, did we try and do it when FC United? Didn't someone try and set up a City one when FC United went on their way as well? But I mean, we didn't have the same sort of problems or the same thing about United. I mean, West Gorton, St Mark's, Main Road still play, don't they? They still wear City colours and play, don't they? I think Main Road, they used to be quite popular in the day. I mean, you perhaps go and watch Main Road or something like that. If they're still knocking about, I think they are. Anyone out there knows if they are knocking about or not. But I'd go but as I say, I would be struggling to find someone to watch. But I mean, I say I would probably go and watch some kids playing football or stuff like that, and just to get a little bit of a fix. I mean, I don't watch Match of the Day anymore anyway. So, but obviously, surely it's not going to come to that. Surely it's not going to come to the 6 clubs being kicked out of the Premier League. But I can't see any other way of doing it. As I say, it's a very, very brave six clubs in England here. So they want UEFA to cop up some more money, but it's a drastic way of doing it. It's a drastic way of getting a better system out of UEFA, isn't it? Let's be honest, they've announced their new scheme, haven't they, today? So it is a very drastic way of doing it, but the soul's gone, hasn't it? Let's be honest about it. Yeah, I thought Main Road was still going. I'm sure I saw the website. I think I went on the website a few weeks ago or a couple of months ago. Yeah, I don't bother with Match of the Day now, I must admit. Even when City are winning, I don't bother with it. I used to not bother it when we lost, but I've not really watched Match of the Day. But there you go. What are you having for tea, Chris? What are you having? Cheer us all up. I don't know what I'm having. I'm having spag bol tonight. I'm having spag bol when I do this. So I'll take this shirt off, though. I don't want to get spag bol on my shirt, do I? So that's part of the battle. What are you having for tea, Chris? Let me know what you're having, mate. And are you going to watch the Leeds-Liverpool game? And be honest, you got turkey twizzlers with chips. There we go, guys. Turkey twizzlers with chips. Chris lives the high life up there in Carlisle. Absolutely the high life. It's fantastic. Are you going to watch the Leeds-Liverpool game, Chris? I'll ask you that now. Or is anyone on there tonight? Anyone, T-Mac, Blackpool Blu-ray, Mike, are you going to watch the Liverpool-Leeds game tonight? Are you going to watch that? Anyone watching it? I won't be, but then again, I don't know. I don't usually anyway, but it should be a good game. But anyone watching it, come on. Anyone forgiving Liverpool, go and watch Liverpool, the one of the other Sucker League guys. And I don't know. There you go, Chris. It's hard, isn't it, mate? I would if I was you, because tomorrow they might say it's all a joke and we really do care about you all. So don't do that. His Royal Highness, I'm having Stella Artois for my tea. Moston, well, you Moston guys, I mean, you're very posh. I mean, not, here in common Altrincham. I can't say too much. I'll flick me to. I tell you what, I've not watched any snooker yet. Who's winning? What round are we up to? I have no idea. Is there crowds in? Is there any crowds at snooker? I've not even watched a single frame yet. I go back to the old days of Pot Black. I used to love that one. Just one frame a week you used to get, and that was your fill for snooker. Absolutely fantastic Pot Black. If any of you remember that out there, probably not as old as me. Chris, you'll still have a smile when they score, mate. You'll still smile if Liverpool score a goal. But there you go. Watching Blackburn under 23s versus Liverpool under 23. Yeah, Liverpool win. We win the league. So that's all right. Yeah, but does it matter? I mean, they'll be thrown out as well with us. His Royal Highness, yes, I'm watching the Dippers tonight, only in the hope they lose, though. Oh, well, no, I don't. They're not. I don't know. I fell out with Leeds the other week, so I don't know. I'm not bothered with Liverpool and Leeds. I think, yeah, it's an old classic game, that, isn't it? Just watch the Charity Shield match from the 1970s. That was a cracking game. Bolton Carlisle tomorrow. Well, that's a big game because Bolton are going for promotion, aren't they? They got beat by Grimsby, I think, because there's a Bolton fan at work. So he was a bit down this morning because they got beat by Grimsby. But yeah, I mean, Chris, you are mentioning these games now, and I'm sort of like I said, I wouldn't ever support anyone else. I would never support anyone else, but I wouldn't be averse to watching football. That's the thing. And as I said, I'd go and watch the kids or Sunday League or just good games. I'd try and find lower league games that are good, but I wouldn't actually actively support anyone. I think that'd be less stress, wouldn't it? Let's be honest about it. City under 23s win the league, and then what's going to happen then? Blackpool, nothing. I mean, they're just going to end up the same as us, aren't they? We may end up having the Blackpool under 20, City under 23s playing for England in the Euro 2020s because they'll have to pick a squad from the teams outside the top six. What sort of squad will that be? Anyone know any good players who don't play for the top six teams that'll be in the England Euro 2020 squad? But I don't really watch England that much. But there's a few players, isn't there? Younger players, I would think. But what we're going to hear more of this, aren't we? We've got to hear from our players as well, and from Liverpool's players, City's players, Spurs players, Arsenal's players. We've heard from Bruno, haven't we? But apparently, but that might have been a fake account. I'm not too sure. Yeah, it's not. That's what I'm saying, Blackpool. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that this is just a ploy and it'll all come good, or I'll wake up. I used to shake my head when I had a nightmare, and I used to wake up. So I keep shaking my head from time to time, but I'm still here. So there you go. I'm confident Carlisle tomorrow because Bolton are beatable. We fear them because of the size of the club and the name. Do talking on the pitch. Is it a Bolton, Chris? I mean, they've had a good run, haven't they? But I think they've stuttered a little bit recently, haven't they? I think they've gone a few games unbeaten. I think Bolton, but then I think they've had a bit of a stutter, haven't they? But I think there might be like 9 teams coming up, mightn't they, from the Championship this season if it all works out. Just who knows? As well as Norwich, I know Norwich got up, didn't you? Yeah, so it's at the old Reebok. Is it still called the Reebok, or they renamed it? Is it called something else now? It used to be called the Reebok, didn't it? The Bolton Stadium. Is it still called the Reebok? Yeah, 8 people on 8 likes. That'll do. That's not bad. 100%, although I had 4 likes when I came on, so. Yeah, have you been to Bolton, Chris? Have you been to Bolton's ground? Bet you have. Yeah, it did annoy me, Michael. I mean, it just as though it's more important for United, Liverpool, and Arsenal than it is for us, Spurs, Arsenal, and City. I didn't like. Sorry, Spurs, City, and Chelsea. I didn't like that comment from Gary Neville. But as I said, he's a dyed in the wool rag, so you can't probably teach him. Can't teach him anything about history and stuff like that. As I said, I think every single club in the league's got history, and I think City's is up there with the very, very best history of any football team in the world, not just England. Of any, Liverpool got great history, United have got great history, sort of Tottenham have got a bit, Chelsea have got a bit, but I think City's up there. You know me, I'll always spout on about that. I'll always stick up for City and history. Yeah, why is it called something else now, Chris? Things can change overnight. We'll wake up tomorrow and Gary Neville will be the new CEO of the Super League. He probably will be, mate. Yeah, he's probably been paid. Gary. Brown envelope for Gary Neville. Become the spokesman for the Sucker League, as I call it now, the Sucker League. Because I say it's sucking the life out of football, and we're suckers for joining it. So I'll call it the European Sucker League, because I think that's the best. Yeah, Chris, I've been to Bolton. I went to the old ground a couple of times, Burndon Park. I went there, and I've been to the new one a couple of times as well. It's okay, nice compact ground. It's all right. A bit, not very atmospheric. A bit. Is it all retail parks in it around it? A bit like Wigan. Wigan's are similar. Always remind me of being a bit the same. The University of Bolton Stadium. I bet they pay a fortune for it, don't they? I thought the universities were short of money. So what? What University of Bolton? Flipping heck. Who's been there? I think the Super League guys, the Soccer League guys, have been to the University of Bolton. I'm not too sure. See, Mickey, it wasn't for us helping United out after Old Trafford got struck. Who knows? We've always been in the top 10 biggest clubs in English football. Got far more loyal support than the Rags. Well, there you go. I mean, it goes without saying. I mean, I work in Altrincham. I went back to Asda when this coronavirus kicked off, just because I needed some money, basically. And it's probably, there's a lot of young United fans, a lot of young City fans as well there, that don't know anything. I mean, there's young United fans there. I haven't seen United win the Premier League. It's just, that's how bad it is. But they're still there, because once your dad's, if your dad's a United fan, you more or less, if he's keen, you're going to be a United fan, aren't you? And it's never going to alter. You're always going to get a big, But obviously, if you're not bothered, if dads aren't bothered, there's a good chance they'll support City now. But then again, with all the bad publicity we get, that probably limits that a little bit. We do get a bit of bad publicity, don't we? Bolton was one of my favourite away games. Blackpool, yeah. Listen, when I was going, I've been in the 80s and 90s and the O's, I've been to away games, but obviously I saw most of my away games in the 70s and the early 80s. And my favourite away grounds was where you could get out alive. I think that was my gauge for my favourite away grounds. Although one of my favourite away grounds was Leeds. It was Ellen Road, and it was never easy there. But I don't know. I just like going there. I like to be scared, I think. And if we went mob-handed, we were all right. And one year I went, and there's about 200 City fans there, and that wasn't very pleasant that night. But and United were playing Glasgow Rangers at Old Trafford. I remember seeing loads of Rangers fans. But yeah, that was the basis of good grounds to me, whether you got out alive or not in the 70s and 80s. Bolton was one of my favourite. He needs to talk to Gary James about history of our great club. But he does, Michael. I mean, Gary James has forgot more than I know, mate, to be honest with you. As I say, I've got a shocking memory anyway. But yeah. Does anyone go on Gary James's Facebook page? Because he did ask me to give it a plug. Give him a plug on Facebook. He has asked me, Auntie Michael, to give him a plug. So I will be doing it on my next magazine vlog, if I do one, if we still exist. So St Andrews team. I've been there. I went there once. The only place I ever sat down, I just went in the main stand and said, I'm not fancy up with my mates. I said, look, we're not standing up here. It's madness. We'll go and sit down. And then I went again afterwards. And I don't know why I went again. And I just sort of stood quiet in a corner somewhere out of the way. It was just absolutely horrible place. I don't think Villa Park was quite as bad, although I got a scarf nicked at Villa Park when I was about 15. But that wasn't as intimidating as St Andrews. That's horrible place. And it's not. I don't think it's pleasant now, although I've not been recently. But I'm sure it's not pleasant now either. Chris, I just feel it's pointless for me doing Liverpool preview reviews when it might not matter. Yeah, but do it for yourself, Chris. Don't do it for anything else. Just do it for yourself until we know for sure. Just do it for your own self that you've done it. You've put it out there. Make your comments known of how you feel about it, and just do it. And then if things turn to SHIT, which they could do, then make that decision. But don't be put off doing things on the club you've supported all your life, and don't ever give up on that. I don't, just do it. I didn't mind Stoke, T-Mac. I never had any trouble at Stoke whatsoever. I had a mate who got beat up at Stoke, but I went about 3 or 4 times. I never had any trouble at Stoke, to be honest with you. So that didn't bother me, Stoke City. As I said, it's sometimes you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, aren't you? I mean, I went up to Newcastle just once. I've only ever been once. I won't ever go again. It was when we won the FA Cup game that time in the 90s, was it? 89, 90-ish. Horrible, absolutely horrible. I wouldn't even now. I resent going back up there. They're just horrible people. I had a bit of trouble in '76 outside Wembley with them as well. So I was only 17 then, but so I had a bit of. So I've never liked Newcastle either. Never, all this great support and all this. I've never bought into that. I've never liked Newcastle. Yeah, Chris, that's what I say. Just do it, mate. Just do it until, as I say, a lot can happen between now and then. Obviously, if you haven't done it, you might think, I should have perhaps done that. Just do it and see what happens and see how these things pan out. So, I mean, that's all we can do. That's all we can do. As I said, I did my preview of the Villa game today, and I wasn't down, but obviously I commented on this thing that was going on, and I just obviously the history boys is the history boys. I'm okay, really. I can do some history stuff, but then again, if this club doesn't exist, who wants to know? Will anyone want to watch history vlogs? I'm sure they will, but it'd be quite depressing, isn't it? If that's all you've got to enjoy looking back at your history, and then if Gary Neville's idea of stripping clubs of titles from the past, I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, you can't strip clubs of titles. That's just part of history. That's just what happened in the past. I mean, strip them of everything going forward, but not what's happened in the past. Villa Park. Yeah, I agree on Newcastle. Always rated Sunderland now. Yeah, I never, ever been to Sunderland. I never went to Roker Park, and I never went to the Stadium of Light. I've never been. I probably would go though. I think there are a lot of fans than the Geordies, although they have their element, don't they? Like most clubs. Is there a programme at Wembley? I don't even know. I know last 2 or 3 games have just been unofficial ones. The semi-final, there was no official programme. It's just I'm not buying an unofficial one. I'm not interested. So I'm not sure. I've not looked on the internet actually to see if they're available, because as I said, I was planning on going, so I wasn't really looking to see if you could buy them on certain websites. We won't mention names, but if I do go, hope, fingers crossed, I pass all the tests as well. I mean, it's not simple. It's not just a matter of turning up. I've done a little test today. Then there's another test that we've got to have that we don't even know where we're having it yet, because City haven't released the information. So I don't know. I just have no idea if I'm going to be going or not at the moment. As I say, my heart doesn't really want to, but my head's saying this could be the last game ever the City play in the Football League Cup, no matter what happens, because I can't see us going, I can't see that competition. Certainly as a full team, we might put some under the kids in it or something like that, but it's going to be the final one. I mean, I wasn't there for the very first game we played. I was a bit young, so I mean, that little part of me is thinking, well, that's history. That's there for the last ever, because you never know, do you? You just don't know. I mean, I'm still disappointed over the Chelsea game and the fact that we're not going to get to an FA Cup final. That's absolutely shocking. But obviously, that decision was made, wasn't it? Yeah. Mick, I mean, the thing is, the last live game I watched, the last live game I went to was Wembley last season. So, I mean, it would be coincidence to go again for the League Cup this season. So that was the last one I went to last season, because I think we played United. I think my lad got a ticket for United. I couldn't get one for the United game. I think that was our last game before the COVID, wasn't it? But yeah, my last live game of watching football was Wembley against Villa. That wasn't there. Then they weren't very nice either. Although I didn't have any trouble, but a few people did have a bit of trouble with Villa, didn't they? 60th anniversary League Cup final special team. Yeah, there you go. Sunderland were good supporters in the League Cup final when we won 20. Yeah, there's no. I didn't see any real trouble. You're always going to get a bit of trouble, aren't you? But yeah, I didn't. I think it was okay against Sunderland. I mean, even the Liverpool League Cup final recently, was okay-ish. It's all to do if you get. Sometimes you just get mixed in the wrong crowd, don't you? I found Watford a bit iffy. I found when we played Watford and slaughtered them, I found some of them a bit gobby and not nice. It's odd, isn't it? I just don't know what it is with Watford, but it's never easy. Like 9 likes, 10 people on. Come on, I started with 4, so I had 10 likes a minute ago. Come on, who's not give us a like? Come on, at least if you're dipping in. I know you guys have, so someone's not. So yeah, Watford. I see Tottenham. I'm not looking forward to that. I find when fans come to the Etihad, I find Tottenham very obnoxious. Their fans, or most of the fans, they're not all like that, obviously, but I just find they're very, very, very big-mouthed and very arrogant at times. My apologies to decent Tottenham fans out there, but I always seem to sort of get 1 or 2 every time I go to the Etihad against Tottenham, where you just feel like, who are you, mate? You know what I mean? But obviously it's going to be weird anyway. I mean, all these tickets that have been given to local residents and stuff like that who've not had to pay for them. I mean, local residents, North London, who are they going to support? I mean, so we've been screwed again as City fans anyway, because let's face it, it's probably going to be about as I say, I don't think City will sell all the tickets. I can't see it now. This has happened. They certainly won't sell all the tickets of the 2,000 they got. So you're probably going to end up with like 5,000 Tottenham-based fans, if you like, with the local NHS workers who are obviously from London, who probably would more likely support Tottenham, going to see this. I don't know how they've done it. I don't know how they've rationed it. I have no idea whatsoever how they've rationed it out. But I think we're going to be a little bit outnumbered. But you're allowed to cheer. You're allowed to shout. I have no idea. I've been keeping going on the City site to find out more information, but they're not very forthcoming with what happens when you're down there and stuff like that. Classic shirt you're wearing, Bernard, 6-9 Cup final. I hope we go back to that. So yeah, I was gutted. I mean, I like the League Cup, but I think I said in one of my vlogs, we should have won more FA Cup. Surely we should have done better in the FA Cup. I know we faced Wigan and they've destroyed us 2 or 3 times, but we should have done better, shouldn't we? This over the last, under Pellers, under Mancini, we should have done better in the FA Cup. We should have won at least 3 or 4, not the couple that we've won. I think we should at least won at least 4. I think over the last few years. I do like the League Cup, but the FA Cup's the most important, isn't it? It's ridiculous. The residents of Brent, the residents of Brent, who are obviously all City fans, aren't they? The residents of Brent. It's just, but again, I think I mentioned on one of the vlogs when City had the FA Cup replay against Tottenham, 30,000 tickets were sent to Main Road, 30,000 tickets were sent to White Hart Lane, and 20,000 went on sale at Wembley. So who got them? So it was kicking off all over the shop and on the City end, because there's loads of Tottenham fans in there. We got screwed that time. We're being screwed again, so there's nothing changes. Finals should be cancelled due to European Super League. Boot the 6 out. Yeah, Chris, absolutely. I think it shouldn't even go ahead. I mean, you've got Carabao who sponsored it. They've obviously got money stuff involved, but I would say the Carabao Cup final should be played in a month's time with the teams who actually got knocked out in the semis or whatever, who aren't part of the Elite Six. I can't remember who they were now. We don't tell. Oh, Everton, was it Everton? Yeah, was it Everton? I don't know. I can't remember who they were now, but play it with them. Let them play the Carabao Cup final and kick us and Tottenham out. That's what I'd do. I totally agree. I wouldn't go back in the ground till common sense prevails, T-Mac. Yeah, absolutely. John T, hi mate. Hi John, how are you doing, bud? Hi Bernard, nice channel. I stopped following football in my 20s due to the fans and the violence. It's much better now, but looks like the clubs are leaving. Well, this is it, John T. It doesn't look good, mate. We can only hope and pray that someone will see common sense somewhere along the line. Chris Britt, Liverpool's chief exec Billy Hogan emailed LFC employees this morning stating that the Super League will be the future of European football if we want to continue our journey. Well, if that's the future of European football, forget it. Charlie Everett, are you going on Sunday? A lot of people have cancelled the tickets on Sunday. Yeah, well, Charlie, I was just saying, I bought mine yesterday. I didn't know this was kicking off, and I have asked Man City help if I can get a refund because I've lost heart, actually. But at the moment, I'm 90 quid down for the ticket and the coach trip. But, so I've not heard back from City, but I'll say I've not checked for about an hour, so they might have got back to me, but I'll keep checking the site, see if I can get a refund, and then I probably won't go, to be honest with you. But I don't know. I just don't know at the moment. We win Sunday and pull out of this ridiculous Super League team at well, this is what I'm hoping. I'm hoping, surely they know this was how the fans were going to react. So did they not give a toss? Basically, they either didn't know, which they're stupid and thick, and they paid a lot of money, these people who run these clubs. They know a lot more, supposed to be clever people. Or they just don't give a toss. I'm going with they don't give a toss. As long as they get the TV money and they get the 3.5 billion off Mr. Morgan, whoever it is that's going to do it. I mean, I can only think that. Yeah, it is, Chris. It's all about the money. And it has been for a while, hasn't it? Let's be honest about it. It has been for a while. It's all about the money. And it's like anything, but there's still hope for other teams, wasn't there? There's still hope. I mean, what owner's going to take a club over now? What owner's going to come in and buy a club and actually do anything with it? They're not. They're just not going to do it because what is the point? Isn't it? There's no Champions League at the end. There may be one of these 5 eventually, but there's no guarantees. So what is the point? T-Mac, let's have it right. The best part of the two that both United and Liverpool have been working for this moment with the other cartel. It's a shame we are involved. Obviously, we've jumped in bed with a mate, and that's all there is to it. And Chris is a Liverpool fan, and he's absolutely annoyed, just as annoyed as we all are. I'm sure Arsenal, Chelsea, and all the other United fans are all. I don't go on their channels, and I don't have many fans on Twitter, but I'm sure they're in uproar. And has anyone been looking at other fans' reactions? Are they the same as the City fans, or are we just being reactionary? Is this a City thing? Oh, I'll never go again. That's it. I'm finished with City. Is it just City, or are all the other fans doing it as well? Yeah, Charlie. Yeah, did you hear that the Americans said they don't understand the relegator? Yeah, that was the Liverpool guys, wasn't it? They still don't know about what offside is and stuff as well. And this never mind relegation and promotion, but hey, that's all part of it, isn't it? I mean, we've had enough of it. Got to pick the. All right, Derek. Cheers, mate. Thanks for logging on, mate. Cheers, bud. See you again soon. Worst thing is that Joe Glazer is vice chairman. Yeah, well, you've got who's the Perez, isn't it? Perez, and yeah. Notice how there's no City guys involved in this in the height. So are they going to just stab us in the back again at a later stage? I think they will, because we've got no one on the executive committee, have you? So you know, it's just ridiculous. I want FSG out of my club back. Get rid of Super League nonsense like it was nightmare. Absolutely, Chris. As I said, it's. You know, United have had the same happening with the Glazers, but you know, it's gone quiet. You know, it's like success; it keeps fans quiet, doesn't it? Obviously, last season kept Liverpool fans quiet, winning the league, but it doesn't take long to come back out, does it? Great to Charlie on. He is a top young good man. Charlie, he goes on Man City fan TV. All the best, Charlie. Yeah. The worst, Joe Glazer, vice chairman. I mean, he was on our site, wasn't he? Wasn't he on the City website? I didn't see that. A little thing from him. How low have we stooped where we have the Glazers on the City site? Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, this is how low we've gone. You know, we're just selling our souls, selling our bodies, aren't we? Let's be honest about it. We're selling the heart, not just our heart. We're selling everything basically. And as fans. What can we do? What can we do about it? Can we do anything about it apart from not go to a League Cup final? Which, you know, what can we do? If you do go, people have said just turn your back on the game and don't watch it. I mean, well, there you go. Not bad for 50 quid, is it? Or 90 quid with the coach travel, but there you go. Haven't seen any banners outside the Etihad yet. Seen at Liverpool. All right, okay. So perhaps we're quieter, perhaps because we've got no fans. That's why we've got no banners. That's why we've got no banners, Charlie. To be honest with you, Charlie. Yeah, we don't need this, do we? I mean, yeah, but I think perhaps the Sheikh wants to pay back on an investment now. Perhaps he's thinking of when the oil runs out, and all of a sudden, what we said he'll never do is happening, and he's actually looking back to get some dosh out of the club now. So. It's never happened, but perhaps as a businessman, it's come to that now, and we'll have to accept it. That's what's happened. We've been let down, but we don't really matter that much to him, do we? Charlie, I'm Michael Feeney. Great to see you, mate. Blackpool. I can't believe we jumped into bed with the Americans. Well, it's a different thing. Say everyone was worried about the Middle East connection, and all the newspapers and all the journalists on about Abu Dhabi and Qatar and all this, and it was the Americans. The Americans, getting it all sorted out, once it all going behind everyone's back and planning this thing. I mean, you know, we took the eye off the ball. Well, certainly the journalists, they're idiots anyway. They wouldn't have known anything. But yeah, it is unusual. I mean, you know, I mean, let's face it, we all laughed. Let's face it, we laughed at United when the Glazers took over. We still do, because all the money they take out of the club. United should be romping this now. They should have that much money from all the commercial side and everything like that. They should be romping it, but all the money the Glazers take out, it's kept them down. So that was a positive, but obviously it's all come back to bite us in the bum as well now, hasn't it, unfortunately? People like the Glazers shouldn't be in football. They shouldn't. They're rotten, but I mean, they obviously passed the test, didn't they? They passed the test that the Premier League have put in to see. They're all good guys. Well, then again, Thaksin Shinawatra passed that test, didn't he? But that just about sums it up, doesn't it? There you go. I wonder what the likes of Franny Lee, Mike Sullivan, and Tony Butt think. Well, I wonder what the likes of Colin Bell would have thought, with things like this. I know, and Tommy Booth was on Cheeseman's thing. If you check that out, and it hadn't been confirmed at that time, but obviously he's not impressed. But I've not seen anyone who has. I've not seen anyone who's had a good word to say. Has anybody out there seen anyone who's got a good word to say about it? I mean, I did ask before, is there any positives? I don't think there is any positives, is there, apart from the money? But what use is the money if you've got no club to support or the heart's gone out of it? What is the use of that? I'm just wanting a statement off Khaldoon. Well, this is it. The chairman, none of the chairmans of any of the clubs, they've made these little messages on the websites. There's been nothing, has there? They're not there willing to face the press. Never mind the fans. They're not willing to do that, and it's a disaster. All the stuff all the guff we were told by Khaldoon over the years, and we've lapped it up, haven't we, guys? Let's be honest about it. We've lapped it up, and it's come to this now, and we're not lapping it up anymore. But we look stupid, absolutely stupid, and we're just as daft as everybody else, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, everyone, every ex-City player. I mean, Tony Buck's still there, Skip's still there, isn't he? Brian Kidd, what does Brian Kidd think? I mean, he's very quiet now. He's obviously kept away because of his age, isn't he? But Neville and Carragher, yeah, well, I assume Carragher's against it as well. But yeah, as I said, Charlie, I think I agree with almost all what Mr. Gary Neville said, apart from he was sort of played City down a little bit about it was more important for United, Arsenal and Liverpool because of their history, implying City, Chelsea and Spurs didn't have a history. I wasn't happy with that element of it, but as I said, he's a dyed-in-the-wool rag, isn't he? So we can't expect anything more, really, can we, from him, to be honest with you. Michael, thanks, Charlie, mate. Many downers, we've seen all the crap days at Liverpool. 1996 when we were down and the playoff in 19. We are a working class team in a working class city. We have owners, but as I say, we won the lottery, didn't we, lads? We did win the lottery, but unfortunately, we sort of we found out many years later. Perhaps we didn't. Perhaps it was the wrong ticket. I'm not too sure, but. Because this is it. This is the end, isn't it? As I say, because looking at it from the Premier League's point of view, look at it from the English Football League's point of view, I wouldn't want us in it. I wouldn't want us in it because look at the advantage we've got. Look at the money we're getting in. Those 6 clubs will totally dominate the Premier League. So what benefit is it to the Premier League? Absolutely no benefit whatsoever to the Premier League. So if I was a Premier League, I'd kick us out and make best with what's left. And there's still some good teams there, don't get me wrong. And we'll have some new history from those clubs because our 6 won't be there anymore, unfortunately. I got Terry Cook's kit bag from '99. Well, there you go. That's obscure. That's obscure. But there you go. Do you think we'll win the league still, mate, with a possible points deduction? Yeah, they'll probably deduct us about 10 more than United get deducted. So there you go. United will win it. There you go. That's probably what will happen. So that'll be their parting shot to Manchester City. There you are. Stuff you. So there you go. Who's the team that's not in the cartel? It's going to go to Leicester then, isn't it? Leicester are going to be win the league again, with the West Ham runners up because they're 3rd and 4th, aren't they, at the moment? So there you go. Leicester are the champions again, lads. Who thought of that? Did anyone have a bet on him at the start of the season? Nothing wrong with that playoff against Gillingham. I had my lad wanted to go. I'll tell you that now. He's not. I did forget to remind him to come on. Actually, he was supposed to be coming on, but he wanted to go. He said, "Dad, can we go?" I said, "No, we're staying till the end, son." So obviously, it worked, didn't it? I'm just going to try and text him actually, just to see if he can come on because he did say to remind him. I forgot to remind him, so just bear with me a sec while I just WhatsApp him, see if he can get on. He's so against this thing. Bear with me, guys. Speak amongst yourselves. Yeah, he's very. When this VAR come out, he sort of didn't really want to keep going. He just said it's ruined football. He didn't really want to be. He did, and he went off the cup schemes because he just thought it was getting all too much. So this is like the final nail in the coffin for my lad. I think this is. I'm sort of more easy going. I'm older. I haven't got long. I haven't got many years left, as you say. But so I'm a bit more philosophical, but after this, I don't think I can be philosophical anymore, unfortunately. Tom Hickson, he's the great retro shirt and Saturday, but that's another story. Well, tell us about it, Tom. Tell us about the other story. I don't think they take 5,000 to 1 bets. Probably don't, mate. I mean, I used to win a few quid off the bookies, and as soon as you start winning a few quid, they close your account. So I had about 50 accounts at one time in my family's name and friends' names, and I just had to give up in the end. I made quite a few quid out of them, but yeah, they're just a waste of bloody time, the bookmakers. I mean, that's just another thing, isn't it? They're not really bookmakers now. They're just firms to make money. They don't give you good odds. They don't care about the punter. They'll just, as long as they can get money out of you, fair enough. As soon as you take some money off them, they don't want to know. So they're not really worth bothering about. I get goosebumps rewatching the playoff final on a final day at Blackburn. Well, yeah. I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, as I say, even if you think about the extra time after Gillingham, I mean, nothing really happened, did it, in extra time? I thought, it's. But I have got a tape. I've got an old video that I meant to put on DVD of the whole thing that was on telly, obviously with the penalties and the extra time. But I'll have to get it on DVD. I'll say I think that it is on YouTube, isn't it? That's the wonder of YouTube now. You can watch some great stuff. And that day at Blackburn, as you say, we should have been about 3-0 down before we scored. I wasn't on the hill. If anyone was on the hill, fair enough to you. But if I couldn't get to an away ground, I didn't want to go and take a chance of getting a ticket and be stuck outside not watching the game. So if I couldn't go, I didn't go. I just didn't want to go, But yeah, that was a great day at Blackburn. Absolutely fantastic. Was it live on telly, the Blackburn game? I lose track whether I watched it live on telly, that game. Was it live? Anyone know? Or was it just remembering the highlights later on? They did team back. I think they hit the bar, didn't they? Hit the bar in about the post 4 times, I think, and that was before we'd scored. So it looked as though it wasn't going to be, wasn't it? But I always think back to the Bradford game. Was it Bradford game as well with the 1-1? I always think that to that game as well. As I said again, I couldn't get a ticket for that one either. Great day in '99, says Michael. Those days are gone forever. If the league happened, yes. Love Blackburn, yes, on Sky. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, so yeah, it's just great to see them all on the pitch. How many City fans were there that day? It must have been over half the crowd. It's like when I watched the Newcastle game back in '68. There's a lot of City fans there, but I wouldn't say it was the 20,000. But people say there's 20,000 there. But then again, it's a big ground, wasn't it? So yeah, probably was somewhere like that. But obviously, I do watch it back and try and look for City fans when City score and stuff. There's a load there, but I wouldn't have thought 20,000. But hey, there you go. Things change, don't they? Yeah, I had VH. I used to tape it. Any big games like that, I used to have tapes, of just when City were on Match of the Day from the 80s onwards, and I used to have loads of them, and I lost them all. I used to have loads of games on videotape from Granada, ITV Sport, and Match of the Day, etc. I used to have them all, but I just lost them over time. I could easily would have loved to convert them to DVD and watch back some of those old games. But as I said, there's loads of stuff on YouTube anyway, so that's great. I just enjoy watching stuff on YouTube now. 20 odd years ago, and what I was talking about, I did my Villa preview today. I was looking back to the 5-1 that's out today. Is it the History Boys thing? And obviously that was David White when he scored 4 goals, and that was 30 years ago. How was that? How was that 30 years ago? I mean, you guys are probably younger than me, but hey, 30 years. It's no way was that. I don't believe it. I don't believe, like this European Soccer League. I don't believe that was 30 years ago either. I'm not having it. I'm just not having it that it was 30 years ago. I'm only 32 myself now. I mean, I've had a hard life. There you go. It's pretty a final derby. Yeah, it's one of my lads' favourite memories. That with the final derby at Maynooth, and I sat behind Uwe Rossler. Uwe Rossler was about 4 rows in front of me at that game, and obviously I didn't really notice till all the fans started ploughing down to try and get his autograph. And I'm fairly sure it was that game, the United game. I was in that little bit where the security was between the main stand and the north stand. I was in that bit for that game. I used to go all over the ground because I used to let my my lad's mate sit with him with my season ticket in the Kipax, and I used to sort of go wherever I could. Obviously Gene Kelly stand, I was in there loads of times. Either of them, it didn't matter. Just wherever I could get a ticket. That's the sort of dad I was. You know what I mean? The sort of guy I was. To let me lad's mate sit with him in the Kipax on the front row. So there you go. I was there in '69, no shirts in them days. No, there wouldn't be. But still got the scarf and the play off me, and the lad left and heard the City fans going mad, but couldn't get back in. Oh, Tom, what are you doing? What, '69? So what are you talking about there? Where's that? Which one are you talking about? '69. I was there in no shirts. Which one are you talking about, Tom? David White, yeah. I tell you what, David White was superb. And then he's one of those players that is brilliant. Then all of a sudden he just goes off, a bit like Cancelo. He's brilliant. And then he just, I think David White lasted a bit longer than Cancelo, mind you. But yeah, he's sort of, Peter Barnes, in a way, was the same. Peter Barnes was absolutely brilliant. And then, perhaps it was the time. Perhaps they played too many games at a young age, because he came through very young, didn't he? Like Peter Barnes came through very young. And then perhaps he played that many games that they just went off the boil a little bit. And I think David White did that. And he's a big lad now, isn't he? He's obviously he was a big lad, physical, fit lad at the time. But obviously he's quite big now, isn't he? The last time I've not seen him for a while. Yeah, it is burnout, T-Mac. I mean, I think to some extent, someone like Rooney had it, didn't he? I mean, Rooney had a bit of. I mean, I know he kept going for quite a while, but again, he had all that stuff when he was 17, 18, 19, fantastic player, and then he just later, and I don't want to talk about the ugly bugger, but because I don't like him, but and this is why perhaps Foden's been looked after by Pep a little bit. There's not much chance of burnout, is there, with Foden? How he's played Foden, but having said that, I think he should be playing every game at the moment. I don't agree. He's not. You telling me Foden's not fit enough to play every game? But that's another thing, isn't it? If you've watched my vlogs, I say that 2 or 3 changes a game, then every 3 or 4 games you can rest someone. I don't understand the wholesale changes he has to make, but say there's fitness coaches there who probably keep him pleased. But you're telling me Foden now can't play almost every game between now and the end of the season. I'm not having it. I just don't agree with it. I'm just not having it. Perhaps it's, and it's not as though he's played every game up to now, is it? You know what I mean? I just don't agree with it. Are you guys agree with that? I mean, I'm a way off there. Am I missing something? Michael Johnson, yeah, cracking, absolutely brilliant. I mean, it's weird, isn't it? It is weird, but as you say, you can have your one season wonders, can't you? You can have the look fantastic, or you can have your 6 game wonders. Like I'm not going to pick up. No, I'm not going to say Cancelo again. I'm being cruel. You can have your 6 game wonders where they look fantastic, but we will need people like Cancelo, the Gundalorian, Bernardo, and obviously Foden to step up now, don't we? We haven't got KDB, although he probably wouldn't have played actually against Villa, would he? He probably would have rested KDB, but they're still saying they're not quite sure yet, are they? So I have heard someone say he could be back for the Carabao Cup final, but I doubt that very much. I mean, but someone has said that, but they don't know. It's just conjecture, obviously, just rubbish. So, but yeah, I think the other guys stepped up last time, didn't they? When KDB wasn't there last time, Gundalorian was absolutely fantastic, and we need to see that from him again. As I said, with Bernardo running around, scurrying around like collecting everything and picking things up, and Gundalorian pulling the strings. I think we'll need that. Villa not a bad team, are they? Villa are pretty good, similar to Leeds, I think, and they've got the capability of, and there's going to play with confidence. They're not going to be scared like Leeds weren't scared. But I just said that I think if we had 29 shots against Villa, pray be we actually put 4 or 5 in the net this time, and we don't bloody miss them all. Foden starts every time. Should have started in the derby and the FA Cup on Saturday. He does say there is protecting, and there's just a bit too much, isn't there? And Foden, as I said, Foden. I mean, he used to say Sterling could play every game, didn't he? I mean, we don't want him to now at the moment, but yes, because he could he was just fit enough to do it. I'm sure Foden. There's no chance of. But how many games have we got left now? We've got 6 league games, a Carabao Cup, and potentially 3 Champions League games. I mean, that's if we're not thrown out of all the competitions, because we don't know, do we? We just don't know. But you're telling me Foden can't play 9 games now? he can certainly play 7 or 8 of them. So, there's no need for it. And if we do finish off the league, which is, we should have done already almost, he could have rested players then, couldn't he? If we beat Leeds, if we got a point against United or done, we could have the league sewn up by now and we could be resting players anyway. So whose fault's that? Whose planning's that? It's not the fitness guy's fault. It's sort of Pep for panicking and putting his eggs in one basket sometimes. But we love Pep, don't we? We love Pep, but he does some silly things, doesn't he? I mean, and I don't think at the moment his brain might not be in right gear now with all this super sucker league stuff going off. Who's to say his brain will be on it now? And I think he'll just be as disenchanted as us lot are at the moment. So that won't help. Foden start. Michael, Foden should have started on Saturday. I don't know why he was our best player when he came on, like you said in the review of the Chelsea. He was. I mean, I said the most worrying thing about the Chelsea game was within 5 minutes we knew exactly how Chelsea were going to beat, how they were going to score, because it was the same. They did the same thing every time. They just used the pace of that. Werner can't score for Toffee. He can't hit a barn door, but he's got pace. So if he gets down that wing and passes it inside, there's a chance he'll score. And we knew that after 5 minutes, but he didn't do anything. At half time, we're 0-0. Still didn't do anything. And then it's only when they score we actually start to do something. But it's too late then. It's absolutely too late. Chelsea are organised at the back. They put bodies in the way. They're a good team at the back. We know that. We knew that before we played them. T-Mac, Ferran started good, especially in Champions League. The jury's still out, not really. Yeah, I think I said to someone today, Ferran Torres, I will give him a bit of leeway because it's his first season. He's had this COVID. He's not been a regular player. He plays okay for Spain. I've not watched Spain, but I believe he plays all right for Spain. So, like Jesus, I still forgive Jesus. I still think he should play against Villa. He's not been playing great, but I think people are sort of saying he's rubbish again now, and I don't think that's fair. I just don't think he's been given the support around him to actually do his best. So I'll be quite happy if Jesus plays against Villa. But the only ones I don't want to play are Sterling, Mendy, and who else? There's someone else I can't think of now. But yeah, I mean, we've got to be strong for this, haven't we, surely? I mean, even if he's strong for this and he goes weak for the Carabao, I mean, he's already said Stephen's in goal, so we've already weakened the team straight away by putting Stephen in, which is fair enough. But we'll have to be strong tomorrow. But I want us to dominate tomorrow. I don't want us faffing about for the first half and then upping it in the second half. I want us to actually be a couple of goals up by half time. And if we're not, I think we're going to struggle. I think Villa are not daft. Villa are not a crappy team, not like they were last year. I don't think we're going to beat them 6-1. Put it that way. I don't think that's going to happen this season. But we just need to dominate, and we just need to be on top of them and harry them. And we didn't do that with Chelsea, did? Let's be honest. From the kickoff, T-Mac Fenner started good. Yeah, jury's still out, really. Yeah. Well, I think that's it, T-Mac. I think the jury's still out on Ferran, but I think we've got to give him a little bit of leeway, haven't we? I think we've got to but just one glimmer against Chelsea, just one little run, or just the ability to take someone on just once. Let's just see something. That's all I wanted, even if he doesn't do anything else for 90 minutes. Just that one opportunity, that one assist, or that one shot on target that Kepa might not have saved because he's rubbish, but we never tested him. I mean, that's all I wanted off Torres. Hi, Thomas. How do you, mate? That's all I wanted off Ferran Torres. Just a little glimmer. Just a little glimmer. Surely you can take someone on and beat him. I mean, it wasn't easy. The team didn't play great. The team performance was pretty rubbish, to be honest with you, overall. But as I say, so I'll give Torres the time. I'm not going to slag Torres off. I think he's been unfortunate this season, certainly with his illness, etc. It took him time to recover from that, and he's not been playing games. And unless you're playing games in a good team as well, it's no good sticking him in with all the also-rans and the B team. He needs confidence for playing with some of our better players on a more regular basis, and that'll give him more confidence as well. No, he's not. Well, no, I think what we've agreed with Jesus is he's not. We want to play him on the wing and get the best out of him there because he's 100%. He's a nuisance. This is what I like. Players who are a nuisance. Bernardo, he's not always on it, but he's a nuisance. He's there. He puts himself about. He's confident, and Jesus falls into that bracket. Players like Mahrez are having a great time, but they're not always a nuisance. Mahrez, are they? If he goes quiet, he's not a nuisance. If players aren't playing very well, I still want them to be a nuisance. And perhaps Torres to some extent. I wanted him, even though he wasn't doing that little bit extra, just be a nuisance, just block things, just harry, just work hard. That's all. As City fans, we used to love that in the old days. You remember standing on the kip-back? We remember standing on the kip-backs, and all we need is for one player to do a fantastic tackle. We were up. I mean, we didn't need to score a goal. We were up because the players had shown a bit of passion, and that fed down to the team, and then the team would go on from there. And that's all we ask. We don't, even so when we are playing rubbish, just do something, just that little bit of spark. Ferran Torres, you're struggling, mate, but just do something a little bit. Just show us that you care. And it's amazing how the City fans, especially, and probably other clubs as well, rise to that. And it certainly happened loads of times at Main Road in the old days when they say you could have the worst game in the world, and then someone would Nicky Reid would fly in with a tackle, and then it was all guns blazing then, and the fans were up for it. And that's all a bit of Nicky Reid. That's what we want. A bit of Nicky Reid in the team. Everyone remembers Nicky Reid. Blackpool, can't say Sterling is not a nuisance. He winds you up. But Sterling's a nuisance, but he just runs into dead ends. He just must have. He always wants to drag it back in. He is but Sterling used to be a nuisance and actually be a good nuisance, but now he's just a nuisance and just a waste of time. I used to think other teams would treat him as a threat and he was useful, but at the moment they're not even that bothered about him. They just let him run into them, I think. T-Mac, Paul Walsh could cross a ball. Him and Quinn destroy Spurs 5-2. That's a great game. That I remember that 5-2. I think I kept scrapbooks for about 5 seasons. I was between jobs, so doing little bits and bobs. So I sort of had 5 seasons of scrapbooks between about 1990 and 1995. I wish I'd get scrapbooks for all seasons, but I've got my programs. Well, that's about it. But and there's some great stuff in those scrapbooks. I'm looking back at my history vlogs and stuff like that. I sort of try and quote from the scrapbooks I've got and things like that. Miss old school wingers. Well, we still. I mean, was Sane an old school winger? Probably not. Torres is probably supposed to be a bit of an old school winger, but we don't. I mean, we don't even have our fullbacks overlapping anymore, do we? Mendy doesn't do it anymore. He's not capable of doing it, so we don't really have that. He's changed his style, Pep, now, hasn't he? He's had to probably change his style because of the players we've got. But we don't seem to have it anymore, do we? I mean, do you remember? I mean, any of you old enough to remember when Willie Donachie used to pick it up on left back and used to run down that Kipax side? And the Kipax was up every time Willie Donachie went on one of his runs. So it's nothing new about attacking full-backs, but Willie Donachie was quite a good defender as well. That was the benefit of Willie Donachie. But I know what you mean, T-Mac, about old school wingers, but as I say, but we did have a sort of a version of it, didn't we? But we don't seem to have that now. But having said that, what's the point? Because there's no one in the box to head it in, is there? I mean, we can play head tennis, but imagine how many goals have we had? I mean, why is Delap not there? Why is Delap not? Or I know he said he's putting him in the first, but why is not Delap there as an option? I've said it for ages now. He come in, he scored a goal, then he didn't have a great game, and then he just bounced him out. He just bounced him out of the team. Why is Delap not in that first team squad as an option? All right, we're 1-0 down with 10 minutes to go. Stick Delap on and put the balls in, cross the balls in. He probably gets sent off, but I mean, he might score before he does so. You never know, do you? Dave Wagstaff, well, cracking player, Blackpool Blu-ray, yeah. He had better times at Wolves, though, didn't he, I think, than he did at City, unfortunately. Michael, we need to do it against Villa. We do. Villa are a lot better than last season. I think it'll be a hard game. Great first line. Cheers, Mike. Yeah, I say, I think I've had 11 people on the most, so we've got 8 at the moment. But hey, I didn't go mad today pushing it all the time. I thought I'll let it go with the flow and see what happens, because I'm sort of new to this anyway. I'm hopefully entertaining, but there you go. Yeah, thanks for that. Anyway, mate, feed the goat. I mean, yeah. I mean, he was there, wasn't he? That's all you needed. Some in the middle. We don't have anyone doing it. It is annoying. Did someone say? Have you heard Aguero's? Did someone say he's definitely going to Barcelona today, or is that just a fake news? I don't know. Did anyone hear that about Aguero today on the news? Hi, Bill ABC. How are we doing, mate? Did anyone hear about Aguero definitely going to Barcelona. Has anyone heard that today? As it just say I sort of go on Twitter, and sometimes you don't know what's fake and what's real, especially at the moment with the European Soccer League. There you go. But it's not. We're not going to see him this season, are we? I don't think we're going to see Aguero again. I can't see it. Can you? I just think he's gone. Yeah, Bill, we are, mate. It's we're all having a bit of a downer. I'm playing it by ear at the moment. I'm just hoping day by day something may happen. But at this point in time, I would kick the 6 clubs out of everything. I'd kick us. I'd stop the Carabao Cup final next week. I'd have the semi-finalists playing it in a month's time if Carabao still want to do it. I'd take the money back off City and the other clubs. Have they panicked? Have City panicked because we made this 120 million loss? Do you think that's what's happened? Do you think the Sheik sort of panicked that I can't have this. I can't have the investment losing that much money. I mean, they've used COVID as an excuse, which is absolutely pathetic anyway. But what is it? Why? I mean, yes, we're going to be left behind, but what are we going to be left behind from? Because it's not worth being in, is it? Is it where I'd rather we get left behind and play in the English league with teams who want to play, not teams who want to just go for the money. I'd rather be playing Everton, the Leicester's, Everton, West Ham, Arsenal, Leeds. Who else have we got? Wolves. We're getting down a bit now, but I'd rather play them every week than play the teams that purported to play in this European Soccer League. To be honest with you. I love City. I don't like the Super League. Absolutely, Bill. I say if it did happen and City got thrown out, I wouldn't go anywhere else. I'd watch football, but I wouldn't have an allegiance to anybody else. I'd still watch football, but I wouldn't support anybody because I've got no one else to support. I love this Spurs game in 1994. Sorry, Paul Walsh time was so short at our club. Great little player. I think he enjoyed it as well while he was here. I think he's one of those players that we enjoyed having at our team, and I think he enjoyed being here, which is really good. I think he's got nice words to say. Hi, Jacob. Are you all right, mate? Sheer greed it is, Andy. Absolute sheer greed. That's all it is. 3.5 billion. Now, some of this 3.5 billion is that in total, or is that per club? I'm not. Someone was saying it was every club's going to get 3.5 billion. So you can't. No one's got that sort of money, surely. We should demand Khaldoon makes a statement. We should, Blackpool. Khaldoon said nothing, and his silence is very worrying, isn't it? I mean, it's not worrying because we know we've joined the cartel, but it is, a great guy. We love it. I think a lot of City fans have respect for Khaldoon, but it's like the respect for the club at the moment. It's sort of, we love the club, don't we? We love Manchester City because Manchester City is Manchester City. It isn't anything to do with Khaldoon or the other guys. City's City, isn't it? And all the other guys will feel the same about their clubs. We love City. I love City now. Even if we get thrown out of everything, I still love City and I still have great memories. But Khaldoon wants to say something. And I think he's been stopped, Blackpool. I don't think any of the chairmen have come out and said anything. I think they've been stopped from doing it by this Soccer League. I don't think they're allowed to at the moment. They will do, but they'll do it as a group. They'll do it all as a group thing. Sorry, mate, got the cup final playoffs. Put it down to it, yeah, Tom. Don't worry, I've been there, mate. You watch my vlog. Sometimes my mouth doesn't line up with what my brain's thinking. I get little comments. So you meant this, didn't you? Oh yeah, I did. I just said the wrong thing. I do edit these when I do the other vlogs. Obviously, I do edit them, but I miss things even then when I'm editing. Sometimes I write it on at the bottom what I've missed or what I did one today with the preview for the Villa game. I sort of missed up on something, so I think, oh no, it's one of my film ones. Forget that. No, it's one of my film and TV things. My brain doesn't quite match my mouth sometimes, which is a bit worrying. But hey, that is age, isn't it? 13 on, great, fantastic. Any more likes? I can squeeze any more likes. 30, unlucky for some. 13. Come on, we need another like. I don't want to be on 13. It's not lucky. Cheers, Blackpool. As I said, City, isn't it? It doesn't matter who owns it. Manchester City will always be Manchester City, and it's the fans and it's the players who used to play for City, and it's. It's City Peter Swales even. Yeah, it's part of City history, but they come and go, don't they? City, the club, is always going to be there, whatever happens. Managers, owners, everything come and go. But unfortunately, we have owners who don't seem to care about that. We have owners who are only interested in the big dollar, the dollar sign, unfortunately, which is, we never thought that, did we? Let's be honest about it, we never thought that about our owners. We give them a lot of credit. Lucky I got a second team called Carlisle. You have, Chris. You're not watching the game. What time's the game on? T-Mac with Super City. We don't want no soulless Super League. We don't. Bill ABC, if people want to go to give maybe City fans create a fan-owned club like FC City Manager, yeah, as I said, Bill, before, I said it's not something I'd be interested in, to be honest with you. I'm not really that bothered about it. I can see the philosophy of it. But it's not something I'd be. I mean, City, City. Again, wouldn't really want to spread a little. Thanks for that 14 now. Cheers, guys. I wouldn't want to spread my allegiance to anybody else. It just die with City, I'm afraid. I may even do history vlogs if there was any demand for them. But even if City went to the wall and we just played European football and no one went, so there you go. Because I wouldn't be going. I think, is anyone here? Would anyone here go to these Wednesday games? Is anyone on here would actually go to those games? I'll just have to follow my Mrs. Girls teams. Yeah, but that sounds good, Blackpool. Yeah, I'd probably watch the women, but they're going to go the same way, aren't they? So you can't even watch the women, can you, unfortunately? The most disgraceful thing I've seen is a Glazer quote being used on our website. Absolutely, I mentioned that before, Jacob. I mean, Jacob. How can it be? This is how low we've got. This is how low we've stooped to let Glazer comment on our website. Absolutely ridiculous. Believe the club working classes join the elites. Madness. Chris Wells, no chance, no. I live in Australia and I would never go to games if they were playing Australia. Bill, there you go, Bill. Fantastic. Well, this is it. It's interesting to know, isn't it? I was saying before, well, what the people in India and China and Australia and America, the City fans over there and the fans of these other clubs, does it bother them? I mean, does it? Because obviously they watch it. Obviously, you're forced to watch it on TV. That's all you can do. So, but again, it's the quality of football, surely. It's nothing to do with the fact of watching it on telly. It's what you're having to watch. It's nothing to do with the fact that that's the only way you can watch it. I mean, we can go when we can go, but you can't. But it's not to do with TV, is it? It's the fact that you're having to watch that sort of, let's face it, dross sometimes, and it'll be absolute dross. I mean, no competition. You don't get relegated. You don't win. I mean, even if you win it, what is it? It's nothing. It's not. You win the Champions League. At least it's something. And now we're never going to win the Champions League. We're never, ever going to win the Champions League now, lads. That's it. We failed miserably. Absolutely failed. I'd always watch your history logs, and I enjoy them. Cheers, Blackpool. Yeah, as I say, it's they're not the most. Sometimes, yeah, obviously I get more views for other things, but yeah, I love doing the history blogs, and it's good. And people should know the history. I'm a big history fan, as you know, not just football, but general history anyway. But yeah, and as I say, if I've got the heart to do them, I'll carry on doing them. As I say, everyone's heart's a little bit down at the moment. I think everyone's heart lost a little bit. I know it's pathetic. It's only football, but it is a little bit more than that, isn't it? I mean, you speak to people who have no interest. I mean, my fiance has no interest whatsoever. I've tried to explain what has happened, and she doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything, which is, and there are more important things. Of course, there are more important things, but this means a lot to a lot of people, and City fans and the fans of these other clubs. I think, as I say, I don't really listen to much to there or follow people on Twitter who support other teams. Chris Welch is ideal. He's a Liverpool fan, and he feels exactly the same. So I assume all fans are feeling exactly the same. It's just like the A-League, no relegation, which I hate. Well, is that it, Bill? Is that there's no relegation in the A-League? Well, there you go. It should be, shouldn't it? I mean, what is the point? What is the point otherwise? I mean, I know you're limited for how many teams you've got, obviously, in Australia. But as you say, what is the point of it? Perhaps if do New Zealand have a league? Can you have a combined thing? I'm being absolutely useless at whether that's logical or illogical, but yeah, I mean, that is the thing, isn't it? As you say, if you're playing the same teams and it's nice to win trophies. Of course, it's nice to win trophies, but to appreciate the highs, you've got to go through the lows, and we've been through the lows, and we know what it's like. And to appreciate those highs, you've got to go through those lows. And I'm sorry, it's nothing, isn't it? I mean, United fans now, I work with United fans who've never seen them win that Premier League title, but they've still got the history, so they're still a bit cocky, as you'd expect. But yeah, you've got to have those lows to appreciate the highs, and they will appreciate the highs if they ever win the Premier League again. Of course they will, hopefully not this season. But you know, that's what it is. It's no good, is it? Without the lows, you don't get the highs. Watch my Melbourne City thrash Melbourne Vic 7. Yeah, I saw that. I mean, was that unbelievable Blackpool? Was that sort of on the cards, or was it just a one-off, or is that going to be the future because of City's money involved, with the money involved? Joe Mercer and Big Mal return, they certainly would. I think everyone. I think all Bill Shankly will be absolutely he would be turning, and because I'm sure he's one of the guys that obviously it wasn't about money. I don't think with Bill Shankly, was it? Stuff like in Joe Mercer. I mean, that ilk of manager, it didn't matter, did it? It's all about the game. It's all about football and doing that, and for football for everyone, not just for the top teams, but for all the way down as well. Because this guff about a pyramid will give money to all the other. What's a load of garbage? I mean, there's no way this sucker league gonna give anything to the pyramid of football and go down. It's absolute rubbish. It's just to sort of appease people. It doesn't work because we can all see through it. But there you go. At least I'll be able to do modern history vlogs. Yeah. Well, I do modern history. I mean, even last year's history, I did one on that game, the 6-1, but it's still modern history. And I've got my horrible histories, don't forget. This is a horrible history in itself, isn't it? What's happened with this? So this is another City horrible history, obviously. Or football horrible history, let's be honest about it. Wellington playing the A-League. All right, so they're from New Zealand, aren't they, Blackpool? Yeah, so Australia has state leagues, but the A-League is separate from the state leagues, right? Okay, so there's no up and down between them. There's just separate entities, I assume. T-Mac, you have two bad times, but you certainly do, T-Mac, definitely. Victoria really struggling, so I wasn't surprised. Beat them 6-0 away. Well, there you go. But they were a good team, weren't they? The better team of the two Melbourne teams at one stage until... I mean, is this City money affecting it? Is it making Melbourne City unbeatable? Are they doing what City were accused of doing in the Premier League? Obviously, that didn't last long, did it? But there you go. Is that the same there, mate? The Premier League's now, no, they haven't. The EFL need an overhaul as well. Yeah, I mean, they're all got their own cliques. Don't forget, they're all a lot of these things are committees, aren't they? Guys trying to line their own little back pockets and all these little committees and the FA and all. No one's perfect. None of them are perfect. Absolutely. I mean, we need a shake-up, but is this the way to go about it? I don't particularly think so. As I said, I don't think this... I said when it first announced, I thought, what they're doing here, they're trying to get UEFA to pay a few more quid out and change things, and this is to force the hand. But you think, well, it's flipping drastic, isn't it? It's a bit drastic to do that. I mean, it's pushing it just a little bit, even for our football clubs and our owners, who obviously don't care, do they? But it's pushing it a little bit even to do that. Bill, yeah, no up and down. Adelaide City in South Australia State League. They used to be in the old NSL, but Australia had never had promotion and relegation, sadly. Yeah, it'd be interesting. Why is there any reason why they can't introduce that? The bill? Any reason why they can't do it? Michael, I totally agree with you. Berners would not have showed in 1985 and Bradford in 1988. Great moments, absolutely. That Charlton game, I think I covered it. I was doing it for something the other day, and I did the Bradford game, I think, as well recently on something. T-Mac, stuffed brown envelopes in dim light back rooms, exchanging hands. Well, yeah, of course it is. I mean, who's going to gain out of this? I mean, that guy, is it Perez from Madrid? Did you hear about the New York Stock Exchange? Apparently, the valuation of United in the first 20 minutes of trading, Manchester United went up 250 million apparently on the New York Stock Exchange. So it's worked. There you go. That's what they wanted. That's the sort of thing the Glazers and United wanted. So it's worked for them, hasn't it? Absolutely fantastic. We've gone along with it. We've helped that sort of thing. Shame on us. Shame on our own. Not us. Shame on our owners. Who I'd never thought I'd say that about, to be honest with you. I never ever thought I'd say that about our owners. I was so happy. We won the lottery. They've done a great job. Not perfect, but they've done a good job. Great job. So shocking. Absolutely. I hope they're happy with that. I hope they're happy that they're increasing United's value. Ridiculous. Blackpool, yeah, victory with a better team and outnumber the City fans probably 4-1, but that is starting to change. Well, it will do Blackpool with trophies and glamour come extra fans. That's how it is, isn't it? When it always has been. Let's be honest about it. I was a glory hunter. I was there in the mid-60s when we started winning things. So I was there the good times. I thought this had never changed. This had never altered. City had always beat United every week, every other game we were beating United. It was stuff. Even with George Best, Dennis Law, Bobby Charlton, we used to always stuff them. They were crap. George Best never did anything against us. He was rubbish. The Bill AB, I'm pushing for that promotion and relegation, but up to the FFA. Yeah, I'm sure they will. Anything to help. I mean, if it helps, I mean, again, they're a bit like anybody else. If there's more money in it, perhaps it'll promotion and relegation, and you get up to higher league, you get more money, you get cash bonus, you get parachute payments. I'm sure it'll help. But I mean, it's all money, isn't it? United and New York Stock Exchange, absolutely. Team did $250 million in up by valuation. So I think they went quite low though, didn't they? So they probably started from a low base, but that's what they wanted. I mean, how's our valuation gone? Has ours dropped now because we've done this? Obviously, as long as United's go up, I mean, we're just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, how long before they'll stab us in the back anyway? Absolutely stupid and naive. I thought we were clever people run our club. Obviously not. Obviously not clever. Chris, I will support Liverpool Premier League or relegate to Lord of the League, just not in the Super League. Absolutely, Chris. Absolutely. I think most City fans will do the same. I'll still be there if we were in the second division. If we were in the non-league, I'd still be there. Whether we'd be rattling around the Etihad, I doubt it, but I'd still be there. If it's Manchester City, I'll still be there. I'm not going to say I'll be there if it's City FC or something, because I've no real heart in that. But if it's Manchester City and it has a connection, even like the Wimbledon, you think of the Wimbledon Milton Keynes, I don't even know if it's proper Wimbledon. Yeah, then I would have been there supporting it. But obviously MK Dons and etc. But if it's that sort of situation, but as long as it is Manchester City and the heart of Manchester City and the soul of Manchester City and the history of Manchester City is still our club, then I will be there definitely. United in debt, that is their meal ticket and work. That's it. Absolutely, team. As I said, this all it's done is we've like we used to help them out in the old days because we were kind. They were on the last legs and we still helped them out. And we've done it again. We've just done it again. And I thought, when I saw this thing yesterday that City might not be joining this club, I was absolutely delighted that we hadn't put. Then again, it was all quiet on the City front, so I thought, not a good sign. Not a good sign. We've not come out and denied it or said anything. So there you go. Yeah, Manchester City FC. Yeah, I mean, we're Manchester City now, aren't we? We're I don't know, but football club. That's what we are. And there's nothing wrong with that. Why get rid of that? That's what we are. You can still be a massive organisation in the Premier League and Manchester City Football Club. Why do you have to just be Manchester City? I know it's all to do with the City brand, etc. But I don't know. Hopefully Carlisle gets 6 in League 2 so they can get automatic. Is it top 6? Top 6 promotion, Chris? I thought, is it top 6? Is not a playoff? It's a lot. It's a lot, isn't it? Is this because they're kicking the 6 out of the Premier League? So it'll be 9 teams coming up from the Championship. So there we go. We've got 6 teams coming up from League 2. So it's probably a knock-on effect, isn't it? Surely our owners can't be that naive, but Blackpool, they must be. Absolutely. There's something, isn't there? But will we ever know? That's the thing. Never been very open, have they? Let's be honest about it. But it's not up to them to be open, is it? I mean, at the end of the day, we are very low on the food chain, aren't we? Let's be honest about it. And I don't think we're as low as we've been now, mind you, as this has shown us. But yeah, they certainly, I've always thought they needed someone with a bit of common sense at City, just for some of the things they do, to say, look, don't do that, lads, it's not right. And this is certainly a moment for this, wasn't it? He needed that conscience. He needed a conscience on his shoulder. You know, this isn't right. We shouldn't be doing this. And yes, we'll lose all this money, but is it worth it? We're a rich club anyway. As I said, is this loss of 120 million totally panicked us? United fans after a team at then, but they did stick up a banner there. Yeah, well, that's just sad team. They are what they are. That changed on the 50th anniversary of the MAD. Michael Feeney, United owners are using United as a cash cow. They are, and always have done. And all this money they've just gone up, they'll take some of that out as well. Don't believe me. They're not going to start. Any proportion of profits they make, they won't be. Some of it will go to players and wages, but some of it will be the other way around. Great owners making money from baseball teams. Yeah, the Bill. I always call them Manchester City FC. And if the club didn't like me saying that, well, absolutely, Bill. That's what we are, Manchester City Football Club. Chris, that's my thinking. Kick the big six out, replace them with the top six from the Championship. Absolutely, and on. So if you know what I mean, I don't like the FC being taken off the club press. Absolutely not. But we are what we are, aren't we? This is, and we are where we are now. And I have no answer to this going forward. I just hope it's a dream. I just hope I can wake up and City will turn around and say, we made a big mistake and we don't want to be part of this. But the damage has been done now, hasn't it? I think the damage has been done no matter what. If we did pull out of this, imagine what the opposing fans are going to be saying. We'll take it in good humour. That's what we do. But we've sort of lost the high ground now, haven't we? We've lost any high ground we had. Not that we've got much to begin with, and no one gives a toss about City anyway. They all hate us, let's be honest about it. But any high ground we did have has gone by the wayside now. I'd love to go back to wearing the coat of arms in cup finals. Yeah, I don't know what they plan to wear for the Carabao. I mean, that 125 kit was superb, wasn't it? A season or two ago, wasn't it? In that we wore, was that for the Community Shield? I'm not sure now. Do we wear it in the cup final? Or I lose. I'm old, guys. You have to remind me. I lose track of these things now at my age. But there you go. I mean, I remember when Manchester City was a football club, things like that. So there you go. I think it's already been sealed, unfortunately. Chris, I think you're absolutely right, mate. I don't think there's any turning back from this now. And but I hope, and this is a horrible thing to say, I hope that UEFA, FIFA, the Premier League, EFL, whoever's involved in this thing, do the right thing and actually go full hog for these 6 clubs, because I think we thoroughly deserve it, no matter what effect it's going to have on us, which it is. We can all, I think, as fans, we can say we want to do the right thing, and as owners, they've not done the right thing, unfortunately. We've got more connection with the coat of arms than United, and they seem to use it. Yeah, I mean, I think they had to get a permission to use it, didn't they? I think obviously it's because the name Manchester, no matter even if they're in Trafford, they're still entitled to use it from some bygone law or whatever. But there you go. I mean, they've got more history, as Gary Neville said. I mean, it's more important to them, isn't it? It's not as important to City fans because we're new money. Absolute garbage, Neville. That's the only thing I disagree with you if you listen to his interview. Have a listen to his interview and what he says about City, Chelsea and Spurs, implying we're not as important. It's the history's not important to us. Absolutely. So I'm all fairness to Gary Neville, but I hated it. I didn't like that for that, and I won't never. He's still a rag. So at the end of the day, yeah, all credit for what he said, but he did City down there, I'm afraid. I'm not having that. I'm not having that from Neville. He knows nothing about history. He's useless. Even though it worked me as a Liverpool fan, absolutely, Chris. Got the 125 year top. We wore it in the Charity Shield. Well, they are team at, the Community Shield. Yeah, fantastic. I didn't have any money at the time. I probably would have thought out 100 quid for that, but I was a bit short of cash at the time. This is why I'm buying a couple of these replicas now. I've got a bit of cash, not loads of cash, but if I can get it, this is fairly cheap actually. I had a little bit of a special offer. Will Manchester City fans in Manchester protest outside the club? I've not seen anything yet, mate. there's nothing. There's a lot. Obviously, we're all talking a good game, but we've had no real significant. I think that apparently there's banners at Liverpool and banners at United outside Old Trafford about it. But I'm sure someone will. I mean, the 1894 group are not. I know they get a bit of bad press, don't they? But I think they do things like that. So yeah, there's nothing yet. The Belaby. I think we're still hoping. We're still hoping that this will just collapse and it won't matter. But as I say, damage has probably already been done, unfortunately. Yeah, Gary only knows Fergie time. I mean, he was a good. I mean, let's face it, he's assisted in one of our greatest goals, didn't he? But yeah, I mean, I forgive any. I mean, at the end of the day, he's a United fan. He's got to stick up for United. But there's no need to disparage other teams by implying that just because it's United, they're more important than City, and this affects them more. It doesn't. It's absolute garbage. And Gary Neville should have been picked up on it. No one's going to pick him up on it. Everyone say what a wonderful bloke he is, and yeah, he speaks a lot of sense. But I've not seen anyone else pick up on that, to be honest with you. I'm a bit frustrated by that, but I picked up on it. That's you guys. Tell him he's a tosser if you ever see him. I'll never see him anyway, but there you go. Yes, you're dead right about everything today, mate. So sad about this. I hope City always do the right thing and learn from this mistake today and do a U-turn. Say damage has been done, but it's still feasible, still possible for us to do a U-turn. And yes, kick the sub. It doesn't matter about the money, but I think the sheikhs and it's obviously the sheikh, isn't it? He's the guy who owns the club at the end of the day. It's not Khaldoon's his mouthpiece, obviously. But as I say, has this 120 million thing scared him? Has it rattled him that his investment might go down? He's sold stuff off to Chinese companies and stuff like this, hasn't it? Perhaps it is a sign that he's had enough. We said obviously when the oil money runs out, etc., but this is just a sign of him wanting to make more money and obviously invest, get more payback on his investment. So yes, he's a businessman at the end of the day. Perhaps we're naive as well. Let's face it, we've been a little bit naive perhaps on this, and we have been sort of sold down the river. But it's not just us, is it? Obviously, a lot of other people who've slagged us off in the past for oil money, etc., they've ended up in the same boat. But there you go. Perhaps we were a little bit naive. We expected more, didn't we? Let's be honest about it. City fans, we thought we were better, and we're not. Sadly, we're not any better than these other guys that wanted to do us down for all these years. And now, when it comes to the crunch, we've joined in with them. Very, very depressing, guys. And as I say, I do hope and pray things can be turned around, but it's not looking fantastic at the moment. T-Mac got lots of shirts from over the years and the Retro Cup final shirts. Love the 76 League. Yeah, I never like the collars on shirts. I always find them a pain, to be honest with you. That one I've got from the 1991 one with the brother and the collar, and the collar's all funny. I don't like collared T-shirts, so I don't like T-shirts with collars on. So it's just me. I like a round neck or a V-neck or whatever. I've always have done. I'm not a big fan of collars, but as you say, I don't even think I didn't even have a replica collar shirt back in the day in the 70s. I didn't really buy many replica shirts, and it was more when the kids came with me in the 80s. That's when I started buying stuff for them and bought myself a replica shirt as well. But yeah, so I don't have anything from the 70s really. I say I've got this the 60s one there that I bought retro-wise, but yeah. Michael, we gave them their best manager in Sir Matt, who made them their history in the 50s, absolutely. And he was lucky to survive that crash, wasn't he? It wasn't about oil money, it was about US ownership on this. Yeah, well, this is it. It's just something else to beat us over the head with. And did we deserve it? Probably, because I say we've succumbed, haven't we? We've succumbed to it, and it's the Americans. I think you probably weren't here a bit earlier, Bill, when we were talking about that we were all looking at the Middle East, weren't we? And it was the Americans who were planning all this. The Americans that were going to sell out the football in this country because they know bugger all about it. Let's be honest about it. It's not their culture, is it? And I know we've got American fans now, etc. And all credit to them. I appreciate all fans, no matter where they're from, whatever country they're from. But yeah, it's the money-orientated idea of the NFL sort of thing that's behind all this. No promotion, no relegation, etc., etc. Totally wrong. You're quite right there, mate. No, they didn't, mate. I mean, they're not a great. I don't think they're a great club. I don't. I don't enjoy. I used to get on the tram and go sort of bump into a lot of United fans. I don't like being in United fans' company. I think I have two son-in-laws who are both United fans, and one of them I've spent time with his mates, and they're all United fans, and they're just horrible people. I don't really want to spend that much time with them. I mean, there's obviously nice ones somewhere, but even at work where I work now, the cocky, even the young ones who've won now, they're dead quiet until something happens, and then they come at you, and they never lost that arrogance. That's just how it is. It's inbred, I think, and there's nothing you can do about it now. It's just from father to son, unfortunately. So Americans don't like promotion relegation. That's why I said about absolutely the bill. They don't. It's more money, but the fans like it. But you brought up with it. That's fair enough. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it if that's what you're brought up to. I mean, as fans, the NFL and the basketball and the baseball, etc. They've been brought up with it. I mean, this is a real change for football fans in England, especially. I mean, obviously, as I say, someone mentioned before why the Glasgow team's not been invited into this and stuff like that. But it's a stark change for us, and it's a block. It's a kick in the guts. It's a kick. I mean, it's virtually a sounding of a death knell. I know that's dramatic, but unless anything changes, it is, because I'm sorry, the Premier League should kick us out. We shouldn't be allowed anywhere, and all we'll do is end up playing Wednesday games against European teams that we're not that arsed about, and whose fault's that? And as I say, where do we go from there? I have no idea where we go from there. Does Khaldoon know? Well, perhaps he'll tell us one day, But obviously, he's not rushing to tell us at the moment, is he? The plans behind this and why it's a good thing, because not a single person thinks this is a good thing so far. I've not heard anyone say it's a good thing. I've had a couple on Twitter, I think, commented, but I have no idea where they're from. There's always idiots anyway, isn't there? So there you go. Right, guys, listen, I've been on for 1 hour and 45 minutes. Thank you very much. I'm going to get me tea now, and I'll do this again, and I might even do ad hoc live things if that's all right with you lot. If you just keep that notification pressed. Any guys who haven't subbed, if you can sub, fantastic. I was 826 this morning, so I think it went down to 825 and then went back up to 826 just before I came on here. So if any of you, or tell your mates, get subbed, that'd be fantastic. So you can do that for me. Be much appreciated. So it's been great speaking to you anyway. Everyone's still there. You're going now. So I'm gonna go and hopefully we'll see what happens, We'll play it by ear and see what's going to happen in the near future. Michael, just a quick look at Michael's comment. When you are a bad team, you go down. That is right. United fans are the same in Dublin. So annoying. Talk crap. I am with you, one or two. Okay. Most of them so annoying. Brilliant stream, burner. Thanks. Right, I'm going to go, guys. Thank you very much for joining me. Thanks for the 15 likes. That's absolutely fantastic. I love it. I'll be back next Monday. As I said, I might do an ad hoc one in between, because obviously I'm not sure if I'll be at Wembley on Sunday yet. So I'd have no idea next Monday what we're going to be talking about. But all of you, I can't say all your names because I forget you all. You know me, I'm getting old now. But all you guys, you know who you are. Hey, much appreciated. Thanks for your support. I love it. Thanks very much for coming on and helping me out on this live stream. And my little granddaughter was on early on, but she soon got off when we started talking football. But she's my biggest fan. I'm doing a film and TV channel one tomorrow. If anyone's of any interest, if you've any interest in film and TV, I probably won't be as long as this, but I'm going to do one tomorrow night if any of you are interested. But hey, you guys, all the best. You be good. Stay safe. And let's hope it's a bad dream. Let's hope by tomorrow and Wednesday it'll be different. By the time we play Villa, it's all been sorted and we're back. So thanks for joining me, all you. I'm saying I'm not going to name you all individually. You're wonderful. Thank you very much for your support tonight. I hope to see you all again very soon. Any more thumbs up? 16. Fantastic. Thanks, guys. I'll catch you all soon. Don't forget my vlog's out tomorrow for the preview of the Villa game. That'll be out tomorrow morning. Yeah, we're still playing them, I think, unless we get banned in the meantime. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. See you later. Stay safe, everyone. Come on, City. Bye for now.